What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 33 of the Week in Review. I am your favorite sunburned host, Sean, and on this week's show, I'm going to describe to you how I got sunburns on my knees, one other activity I did outside the games and movies medium, and we'll look forward to this week's new releases. We'll start with the obvious question. Sean, how does a man such as yourself continue to get sunburned? Wasn't it a mere 16 weeks ago that you came in with yet another terrible sunburn, or one of the worst sunburns you've ever had?
Everything hurts. Ow.
The answer is yes, I did it, and I'm now sunburned again, which is exciting. And this, is probably the weirdest sunburn I've gotten, and that says a lot for me, because I'm a person who typically sunburns really bad or really weird. When I was younger, I used to have, longer hair, and I would swoop it, down to the side. And there was one time I was outside, and, the one streak of my forehead was sunburned. And this one, is right up there with, its ridiculousness. My knees. Just the kneecaps are sunburned. I'm sure my face got it and my neck got it a little bit. And the obvious answer is Sean just put sunscreen on. But one, sunscreen's gross, and two, I don't like the texture. And three, none of the bottles say limited edition on them. So what am I supposed to do? Use it? No, that's crazy person talk. Instead, I come to you with fun stories about how I hurt and am in pain. And then if I don't have, sunburns, what am I supposed to complain about? It's a very long, convoluted, and complicated mess. How did I get the sunburns is more the point of the story I'm trying to actually answer, and the short answer is went on a rail ride. That's right, I said that correctly. Rail ride in Ione, Washington, which is about an hour and a half northwest of Spokane, where I reside. The rail ride was about 9 to 12 miles. I'm unsure on how far it was. Somebody said 9, but the pamphlet said 12. I don't really know. So 9 to 12 miles, that covers both bases. Maybe ride more further for fun. Who knows? The point of the rail ride is to ride a cart that has 4 seats, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Each are pedal powered, and you ride them on decommissioned train rails. And they're a lot of fun. The one complaint is that the seat is a little bit too low, so you don't get to use your weight to push down like a bicycle. You're slumped a little bit too far back, so you kind of have to fight a little bit more to get good speed. So that was the complaint. If they lift it up maybe 6 inches to 9 inches, somewhere in there, it would make for a more comfortable and interesting experience. You'd also be a little bit higher up, easier to see stuff, because you ride along like a bank to a river, maybe get better views. So there are benefits either way, both in how tired your legs get and viewing. But I enjoyed it and would like to do it again. If there are other rail ride places, let me know in the comments below. Overall, I really did enjoy the rail ride. I thought that the scenery was really nice, and I liked that it was something unique and new that I had not done before. Also, shout out to our cart, which caught some sweet air when we hit a branch that had fallen on the track. So that was pretty exciting, pretty extreme, as they say, as the kids say. I don't know if they say that anymore, but they did when Rocket Power was on. So that's all that matters. The other event that I did this week that didn't involve movies or games, which is very, very surprising for me, is Pig Out in the Park. And I'm not typically into Pig Out in the Park all that much. I don't really like it. It's very small, very compact. There's a lot of different food vendors, which is very cool. There's a lot of musical acts and concert-esque things. I guess they're just concerts. I don't know why I put esque on there. That stuff's all well and good and super interesting. And the main reason I went down was for Lilac City Live, which is a local talk show. I've mentioned it before. It's where I bought the hot sauce all those weeks ago. And so I went down there mainly to watch that, but also to get a donut burger. And if you don't know what a donut burger is, clearly you haven't talked to me very frequently, because I love talking about donut burgers. They go back to probably high school with me, where some AA or AAA baseball team needed a hook to get people in the stands. So they decided that they would cut a Krispy Kreme glazed donut in half, flip it inside out so that the glaze touches the burger, and sell that at the baseball stadium. Now, people who know me in real life probably their heads are spinning. They're thinking, Sean, you, 1, are a ridiculously picky eater, and 2, you don't like when your food touches at all. So why in the world would this ever interest you? Well, the answer is actually quite simple. It's so ridiculous that I just had to try it. So I waited 10 years, because I heard about it in high school, and I didn't try it until I was 25, and I tried it down at Pig Out in the Park a few years ago. And they did it correctly the first time. They cut it in half, flipped it inside out, made it so where it's a manageable height. went down to go see Lilac City live and get a donut burger. And the first mistake that they made was they put 2 full-size donuts, one on each, the top and the bottom, and that makes it too tall. Like, it's just, you have to squish it down. The problem there is that when you apply any sort of heat to a Krispy Kreme glazed donut, it's all over your hands, and I don't like having sticky hands, and it makes me feel all gross and weird. So I have to crunch it down and then try and eat it, and then the burger wasn't even really all that good at all anyway, and it was too much donut, and it just wasn't. Stop putting lettuce and tomato on things. That it doesn't need lettuce and tomato. It's just bacon, cheese, burger. That's all you need. You don't need lettuce. You don't need tomato. Just get it out of there. Anyway, the donut burger wasn't super great. Lilac City Live was very good. It was entertaining and interesting. It was a weird stage setup because it was just a bunch of tables. So like a bunch of just innocent bystanders who had no idea what they were getting into wandered into this tent, and then all of a sudden there was like a show happening, and they were very confused and not super into it, but I did enjoy myself at Lilac City Live. So the other question you may be asking yourself is something as simple as, Sean, how did you manage to go through a very long week, an extended weekend, and not play any games and not watch any movies? How is that possible? Well, the answer is pretty simple. College football started, and football season just evaporates all of my productivity as far as games and movies are concerned, and that happened this week to like the maximum, where on Sunday obviously I was up doing the rail ride, and Monday I just watched a bunch of videos. There weren't even games on Monday, and I was just like, I'm just gonna watch videos on the internet. And Saturday I spent all day watching college football. So that's your short answer for why there aren't any games or movies on the show. They'll return next week, don't worry, but I also thought it'd be fun to cover something a little bit different, give you a little bit more personal insight into some of the activities that I do kind of just on, you know, on a whim, on like a weekly, not like a weekly basis. I don't go outside that much. I sunburn so easily. It hurts. Speaking of college football, the NFL season is right around the corner, and on Thursday night, I'm going to upload the very first gameplay video to this channel, and it is Madden NFL 19, and it's a Packers-Bears game, because I'm curious to see if Madden can correctly predict who wins that particular game. Is Madden a filthy liar? I don't know. Are the Green Bay Packers going to beat the Bears on Sunday regardless of what Madden says? Absolutely. Should you watch the video to find out just how handsome Aaron Rodgers is in digital form? 100%. So check that out. That's going to be on Thursday. Finally, on this week's show, we'll cover what's new this week. There's a ton of stuff out, starting with in theaters, nothing, which is kind of odd. Everything else has stuff, but nothing worth noting in theaters. Hereditary and Won't You Be My Neighbor are out on Blu-ray. As far as the game's concerned, PlayStation Plus had their games announced last week. God of War 3 Remastered and Destiny 2 are available for you to play right now. As far as the Xbox games with gold are concerned, Prison Architect and Lego Star Wars 3 are available for the Xbox One and Xbox One/Xbox 360. On the 16th, Live Lock becomes available for the Xbox One, and Sega Vintage Collection Monster World is available on Xbox One/Xbox 360. The Xbox Game Pass also got its monthly update, and I picked 3 games that I thought were worth checking out. Number 1 was the Master Chief Collection. It just had a huge update that fixes a ton of problems. That game has had quite I think it's been out for 4 years now. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's been out for 4 years. It's had a rough go. They finally started to really work all the bugs out and all the kinks out, and it's finally what it should have been, honestly, when it came out. But as a big Halo fan myself, I really, really enjoy the collection. It has Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4. You have the option to buy Halo 3 ODST as DLC. There's 6,000 gamer score available, so it's a great deal if you're into the Master Chief stuff or the Halo stuff and you missed out, or if you want to just go back and enjoy it again. That's definitely the way to do it. Second game on our list is Snake Pass. It's a puzzle platformer game that's a lot of fun. Very charming, colorful, cute game. You play as a snake and you slither and collect gems and stuff, and it's a really great game and definitely worth checking out. The third game on the list is probably the most interesting game, only because it's an interesting showcase of what the Xbox One wanted to be. And the third game is Quantum Break. Quantum Break is an interesting game because if you are into the game stuff, you probably remember this, so forgive the repetitive nature of this following few sentences. When the Xbox One was initially announced, they wanted to do a lot with TV and sports and all that sort of stuff, and a lot of that stuff got cut to the wayside. They didn't want used games, and it was going to be always online, and there were a ton of things that weren't communicated super well and were never shown as like, hey, here's why this is awesome. It was just told to you in like a, hey, this is just what's happening, hope you like it, whatever, we don't really care sort of way. And Quantum Break is a game that is interesting because it takes advantage of what the Xbox One wanted to be before they cut all those features. Basically, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One at this point are the same console with just exclusive differences, like console exclusive game differences. So this is an interesting idea that I'm glad came out the way it did. Even if I don't think it's like a super great game, I don't actually really think it's a super fun game to play. Like, a lot of people, when the game came out, that was their main like selling point, was like, hey, this game is super fun to play. And I thought it was kind of bland and boring, but I really, really liked the story aspect, and I liked that you played through large chunks of the game and then you watched like 30 to 45 minute well-produced episodes that kind of cover some of the backstory stuff. And it's a super interesting way to do that sort of thing, and I think this is a game well worth checking out. And you can also get excited for the next game, which I believe is called Control, and that was announced at E3 this past year. So get excited for that. Play Quantum Break. It's really good. Boy, that is a ton of content, and we haven't even gotten to the main stuff, which is just basic games that are out this week. Both NBA games are out, NBA 2K19 and NBA Live 19. NASCAR Evolution Heat 3, whatever the hell it's called, is out. Dragon Quest 11 is out, and normally those would matter, but this week they don't, because Spider-Man is out on the PlayStation 4 Friday, and I can't wait. I'm so excited that I'm going to unbox both the 1TB PlayStation 4 Pro and the limited collector's edition right here on this channel. That'll be up on Friday, so you can see all the goodies that come inside it. And then I'm going to spend all weekend whipping around New York City, and I'm very, very excited to play that game. Thank you so much for watching the 33rd episode of Week in Review. As always, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're excited for. Hit that subscribe button so you know when I post new videos. Be sure to check back Thursday for the Madden video, Friday for the Spider-Man stuff unboxing, and as always, check back every Tuesday for more Week in Review.